You will have heard that there was an earthquake. This was in the Banda Sea, so 7.2 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Darwin. I'm going to take you to Dr. Janaka Atanyaki, who is with the School of Earth Science at Melbourne University. Welcome to you, Doctor.
Good afternoon, Narelle. It's great to be here.
Thank you. Now, I bet you wish, other people are thankful that they weren't in Darwin. You probably wish you were there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, recording and feeling an earthquake is a dream come true for a seismologist like me.
Did we have any warning of this earthquake coming? It was in the Banda Sea, and it was sort of early this afternoon, our time.
Yeah, there was no such warning whatsoever, and that's usually the case with earthquakes wherever it happens. So we did not have a clear warning of this earthquake happening.
Okay, so that's not unusual to not realise that it is, that there's an earthquake on the way. Is it unusual for there to be an earthquake in this particular location off the shore of Darwin?
No, there's no absolute surprise in the location of the earthquake because Banda Sea has hosted a whole number of earthquakes in the last few years, and I looked at the catalogue. From 1967, there have been 7 magnitude, 7 or greater earthquakes happening within about 200 kilometers of this earthquake. Besides that, the Australian plate is crashing into the Sunda plate, that is the plate that's hosting Indonesia, and that plate boundary is the home of very large earthquakes in the last 50 years or so.
Okay, so really quite an expected earthquake location. Do we think, or do you think rather, Dr. Janaka Atanyaki, that there will be some aftershocks?
Usually, when you have a large earthquake like this, magnitude 7.2, you would expect quite a number of aftershocks. We cannot exactly predict the magnitude of the aftershocks. Usually, if you find a magnitude 5 or 4 aftershocks, that's not a surprise. And in this instance, the aftershocks can be as large as magnitude 6. We are still waiting and recording waveforms from this earthquake. And as we record these aftershocks, we will let the general public know.
Are the aftershocks generally less than 7.2?
Usually that's the definition. I mean, if you define something as an aftershock, it has to be smaller than the main shock by about 1 magnitude unit. So if you find an earthquake happening around magnitude 6, then you can call that an aftershock of this, even in the same area. Sure.
You've mentioned that this location is really not immune to earthquakes in the past, but what about a 7.2 magnitude earthquake? How large is that in comparison to some of the other earthquakes that have been in that area or that we've felt in Australia?
We haven't felt a magnitude 7 event in Australia, not in the last 100 years or so. The largest one we've felt is the Meckering event, which was a magnitude 6.8 or 6.7. But we haven't felt a magnitude 7 in the last 100 years in Australia. But for this particular region, as I mentioned earlier, there have been, 7 earthquakes greater than or equal to magnitude 7.
Okay. Would we consider this one, given that it was offshore, would we consider it as being an earthquake that happened in Australia?
Not really.
Okay.
This is beneath the Banda Sea, so it's like 700 kilometers from Darwin. But it was strongly felt in Darwin.
Wow, just goes to show. Thank you so much. That is Dr. Janaka Atanyaki from the School of Earth Science at Melbourne University. Some big